y'all, it's me Alex, and today I am filming a video that I hope is going to be the start of a new series. I literally came up with this idea for this video at like midnight last night as I was cleaning out my Mac. The name that I came up for this video, because I think I'm really creative and funny like that, is called Collection Dissection. So yeah, it sounds kind of gross, like science class. But it's going to be a lot less gross because we're talking about makeup. Now, what I want to do with this series is to kind of go through new makeup collection releases and kind of see like how unique they are, what I'm interested in, what I'm not interested in, just because I feel as though it's very easy to say like, no, I won't buy anything from that collection, or I want everything from that collection, when in reality most consumers just want somewhere in the middle. We might be interested in some things but not others, so it doesn't really help to have that all or nothing mentality. So this is kind of like a will I buy it slash like, I don't know, like, you know how big YouTubers who get PR like actually get to test out products? It's like that, but for the average consumer, I guess. Like, this is me going through my thought process as to what I find interesting and would be appealing to me. So I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to see if the products that I'm going to talk about are like unique to the brand and if I have anything that would be similar-ish in my collection, because I have a lot of makeup, you probably do too. The collection that I'm going to go through today is the new Colourpop fall release collection. I watched a Kisses video on this yesterday and I'm filming this on a Saturday, which is a little bit like scheduling, woo, but I was really interested in that because I feel as though, like with any collection, there are going to be some hits and misses, some things that I'm really interested in and some things that I'm not. So I'm going to go through every product in the collection, and at the end, I think I kind of have like three categories of products that I'm really interested in buying, products that I wouldn't buy myself, but if I owned it, I would probably use it, and products that I'm just not interested in at all. So anyway, long introduction aside, let's just get started. Okay, so the first product in this collection is a Good Sport eyeshadow palette. Now, I've never owned any Colourpop eyeshadow palettes, but I have lusted after a fair few, and this one actually looks really interesting to me because despite appearances, like there are some neutrals, but there are also a lot of colors, and it feels very, very autumnal. So I find myself really drawn to the purple shades in it as well as that glittery green on the bottom. I'm also not gonna lie, I'm really interested in like that matte burgundy deep red that you see up top, and I think the only thing that would be missing for me in this palette is like a matte brow bone shade, but it's not like I don't own other palettes that have that. I think this has a really unique fall color story, and I think it has the right balance between neutrals and pops of color. What I like to do when I'm interested in a new palette, what I like to do is to kind of cover up the shades that I'm interested in and see if I would still get use out of it without all of the pops. So in covering up those shades, yes, it becomes very neutral, but those are all still colors that I'd use. By the way, this product is $16, as are all of the regular 12-pan Colourpop palettes. So even just covering up those shades, I still find it to be something that I would use, generally speaking, and I think it would be a good value for money for the $16. I did look through my collection to see if there are any similar colors that I have in my palettes. The closest thing in terms of color story that I can find, I find that it does have some similar shades to the Subculture palette. This probably has a better formula than the Subculture. I've heard really good things about Colourpop's formula. So the lime green on the bottom does look kind of similar to Electric, and then there's a matte yellow that looks similar to Edge. Burgundy looks like a cross between Fudge and All-Star, and it looks as though there's gray towards the bottom that looks like it could be between Mercury and Axis. So not quite like perfectly similar shades, but it does have a similar color story. This looks like a more warm tone version of Subculture. And then the other palette that I thought this kind of had some similar colors to is what I have on my eyes right now, which is the Viseart Dark Mattes. And here I'm mostly talking about the two matte purple shades that kind of come in this palette, although the purple in the top right corner of the Colourpop palette is a bit more vibrant than what comes in here. There is also a deep burgundy shade in this palette like that one, although the Colourpop palette seems to have a bit more of a warm tone one. This olive green looks like a little bit more green tone of the gray at the bottom. So again, there are similar shades, not quite it, and I don't think these two palettes together really make the Colourpop palette. The Colourpop palette is also cheaper than both of those. Also, in terms of other Colourpop products that this could be similar to, in J.Kiss's video she mentioned that the yellow in this palette is similar to the yellow in the Yes Please palette, and I noticed that it has some similar neutral shades to Double Entendre, and it has some various shades like the Give It To Me Straight palette. So those two palettes aren't things that I'm really interested in. I'm still lusting after that Yes Please palette, so they might be a little companion thing that I pick up. So those are the comparisons that I've made with the Good Sport eyeshadow palette. Also, the packaging is leopard print, so I think that's cute. Other people think it's tacky. I feel as though I should just mention it. The next product that I'm going to talk about is the Crush On You highlighter palette, which is $18. Now this looks like your standard highlighter palette, which I still think it is, but this isn't the same highlighter formula as all of the other highlighter palettes in the Colourpop collection. This is actually using their Super Shock Cheek. Wow, I can't say that fast. Super Shock Cheek. This is the Super Shock Cheek formula, which is a kind that comes in the little tins like that as opposed to a highlighter, and I think that's really cool because I used to have a couple of those, not gonna say the name, it's too hard. I had a couple of those highlighters a few years ago. I did kind of declutter them just because I had gotten some of the weirder shades, and while they were pretty, I ended up getting the Kat Von D Alchemist palette, which I found worked a bit better for the colors that I was trying to use. However, I know that for their more natural colors, that formula works really well from what I've seen on other people. I think that's really cool that they're doing it. I'm a little bit curious because the Super Shock formula in both their single shadows and in their cheek products, since it's not quite like a powder formula, the products do have to stay in like very tightly lidded containers in order for it to stay functional. So I'm really curious as to how that would work. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how long these highlighters would last. And obviously, since this has just come out, nobody has really given any reviews or anything as to how that would work. So that is the main question I have about this. And it does have a few similar palettes to Colourpop. So their Inudendo palette and the This Is For You highlighter palette, both of those look very similar to this. The Inudendo has 6 shades and the This Is For You has 3 shades, so this gives you 4, which is like a nice little in-between, and neither of those are the Super Shock formula. Also in my own collection, I do think that this does look pretty similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sugar Glow Kit. The palest shade probably isn't a duochrome like Marshmallow is, and the bottom shade isn't as deep as Butterscotch, but I think the overall idea is pretty similar to that. I think honestly, like, all natural highlighter palettes for light skin tones look the same anyway. So while this is something that, like, yeah, I think it would be good if you're into highlighter palettes, I don't think it's something that, aside from the formula, is particularly new. The next set of products I'm going to talk about are the Supernova Shadows, which are Colourpop's liquid eyeshadows. Now they have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades, and they're $7 each, and you can get actually a full set of them for $30. You can also buy a set of this collection in full for $100. But like I said at the beginning of the video, the reason I'm doing this series is because it's usually not exactly the best idea to get the full collection, because nobody's going to use the full collection of anything. I haven't heard very good things about the Colourpop Supernova Shadow formula. Granted, they're liquid eyeshadows, and I'm not a liquid eyeshadow person, to be honest, so I want to put that up front, that I'm probably incredibly biased. I'm just going to say that I'm not really getting any of these shadows. Fortunately, in looking at the Colourpop collection, despite these all being very neutral, the only one I could find a similar shade in the Colourpop liquid shadow line was a shade LOML, which I think stands for Love of My Life. And it looks pretty similar to their Firecracker Supernova shadow, but other than that, the colors are very like pale and neutral, but Colourpop doesn't have a whole lot of other Supernova shadows like them. This is going to be like Super Shock Cheek, isn't it? Supernova Shadows. Anyway, I know that I don't have any liquid shadows in my collection aside from one of the Stila Glitter and Glow shadows, and that is in like their black glitter. So I don't have anything like these. I'm not particularly interested in it just because I know that there are better liquid shadow formulas if that is something that I would ever be drawn to, and there are liquid shadow formulas in colors that I'm actually drawn to, because as you can tell by my face, I'm not particularly drawn to neutrals ever. So that is my very quick opinion on those. And the last thing I'm going to go into are their Luxe lipsticks. So these are a series of 6 shades, and these are $7 each, and you can get a full set for $30, which I think is actually a pretty good deal. I haven't heard too much about the Luxe lipstick formula, but I also think that in terms of a bullet lipstick, you can't go too wrong. These are the most expensive Colourpop lipstick formulas, so that is something to think about, but the packaging looks really pretty, and they have like little stars engraved on them, which I think is really cute. Like, it's extra, and that's probably the only reason that it's $7 each as opposed to $5 or $6 like their lippy sticks and like Ultra Satin Lips. I'm gonna go into the shades. The first one is Electric Feel, which is this really light nude. There are a few similar shades in the Colourpop collection. There is their lippy sticks in Parker, which is $5.50, the Zuma Ultra Blotted Lip, and their Ultra, I didn't write it down which ones. It's either the Ultra Matte or Ultra Satin Lip in Aquarius, which is a little bit warmer than Electric Feel, and both the Ultra Blotted Lip and whatever formula Aquarius is only $6. So I think that you could find a lot of shades that are very similar to this just because it's just a light pinky, peachy, neutral, it's a light nude shade, and there are a lot of companies that make these. The only shade that I have in my collection that would be slightly similar is this lipstick from Blackheart Beauty. It doesn't have a name on it, just because I gotten it in a set, and now that I'm even looking at it, that's not very similar, but that's not a thing that particularly matters to me because this just simply isn't the kind of color that I would wear. I love nude lipsticks, but I don't care that much for really light nudes. That is just not my makeup style. The next one is their Better Off Cream Luxe Lipstick. So this is kind of like a peachy nude that is a bit darker, so I like that. This is the kind of nude that I would wear on every day. So these are the kind of nude lipsticks that I'm drawn to. It's pretty warm, and there are 2 things in the Colourpop collection that I could find. The first one is their lippy sticks in Psych, and there is also their Ultra Satin Lip, I think, in Echo Park. I really should have written down whether these are Ultra Matte or Ultra Satin. So both of those look pretty similar. Echo Park is a little bit lighter than Better Off. Those are your options in the Colourpop family if you're not interested in buying the Luxe lipstick. And I have a couple shades in my collection. I can't find one of them. One of them is Lolita 2, which I think looks pretty similar. There is also my NYX Lip Lingerie in Seduction, because again, it has that similar warm nudie pink right there. And then the Melania Moore Matte Lip Cream in Loved, which is a bit darker, but I still really like it. I love this formula, and to me, while these aren't exact dupes, they to me fall into the same color family, and I don't think we need exact dupes for every single lipstick that we come across. So that's just kind of how I feel. I never claim that any of these things are going to be dupes. I claim that they have a similar feel to me. The next one is the Around the World Matte Luxe Lipstick. This is a bright orange, not quite a red, but just like a bright orange. It is actually about the same color as like the eyeshadow that I'm wearing. And I think this is really pretty. I do love orange lipstick, but I don't wear it that much myself. I love orange lipstick on other people. I was able to find 2 shades in the Colourpop collection that look similar. There is the Chi Chi Lippy Sticks and also the Trapeze Cream Luxe Lipstick. So the Lippy Sticks is $5.50 and the Cream Luxe Lipstick is going to be the same price as the Around the World one. Again, obviously not the same shade, but they do look pretty similar, and the one that I have in my collection that looks like it would be similar-ish is the NYX Matte Lipstick in Indie Flick. And this one is a little bit more neon, but it does have the same vibe as a bright orange lipstick. The next lipstick is their Do In Fine Matte Luxe Lipstick. and this is a really nice kind of berry shade, and I really like that. I do like berry shades even though I don't wear them that much in lipstick form. Again, berries and oranges are very similar to me in that I love the colors and I think that so many people look good in them. I just don't think I wear them enough. I think this is really pretty and it could be really universally flattering too. So there are a couple of shades that I was able to find. They're both ultra mattes. They are in Bad Habit, which is a little bit pinker, and Souffle, which is a bit redder and it's a bit brighter. So they all fall in the same color family, but they don't entirely match. And the one that I was able to find in my collection was the Wet n Wild. I don't know what the name of this formula is, but it's a Wet n Wild lipstick that's like $2. And it is in the shade Sugar Plum Fairy, and I think that this is a really, really close dupe. The next one is called Pencil Me In, and that is one of their Matte Luxe lipsticks, and that is kind of a wine burgundy shade. I don't think it's deep enough to be called burgundy, but it's in that same color family. I like lipsticks like these. I think this is very fall, and I love lipsticks like these for fall. I think that this is also really pretty and universally flattering for fall. I think this could be very nice and vampy. There are 3 shades actually in the Colourpop collection that I was able to find that look similar, and that is the Sachet Matte Luxe lipstick, the Hello Stranger Cream Luxe lipstick, and the Pearl Next Door Ultra Matte lip, and all of those fall within the same color family. In my own collection, I was able to find 2 lipsticks that look similar. The first one is from the same collection in Wet n Wild that the previous one was in, and that is in the shade Cherry Bomb, which this one is a little bit more purpley rather than red, but it's very similar in my opinion. And the other one is a Blackheart Beauty Bullet Lipstick in Sure Shot, and I think this is really nice too. I like it. This is broken, so I'm gonna be very, very careful. And that is what that looks like. This one actually looks kind of like an in-between between Pencil Me In and Doin' Fine. I love how comfortable the Blackheart Beauty lipsticks are. They just don't wear very long. So that is my disclaimer if you go after that one for dupe in between those two. And the last lipstick that is there is their JV Matte Luxe lipstick. There we go. And this is like a deep cool gray, which I really love. I know Kat Von D has a lipstick like this, so does Makeup Monsters. I love lipsticks like this because they're kind of like almost black, but not quite. You know, so it's black lipstick with a little bit more of a visual interest. The only thing that I could find that was similar was their Class Pet Ultra Matte Lip, which seems to be a bit more blue, and that also comes in like a little back to school set. That is a set that I would actually buy because all of those look like shades that would be pretty unique to my collection. But yeah, the one shade in Colourpop's collection that looks similar is their Ultra Matte Lip in Class Pet. And I have the NYX Liquid Suede in Stone Fox, which I think is pretty similar. Yeah, I think this is actually extremely similar to it. However, I hate the Liquid Suede formula, so trade-off, like I would wear this for a video and then nothing else. So that is the entire Colourpop Fall 2018 collection. I just kind of went through and was able to show you what I had in my collection that would compare to other things and if it compared to anything else in the Colourpop collection. Now I'm going to go through and tell you which products I'm really interested in, would probably pick up, and what products I would use if I had but probably wouldn't buy, and the products that I would never use. 2 things that I am definitely interested in are the Good Sport eyeshadow palette and their Matte Luxe lipstick in JV. I think those 2 things are unique enough in the Colourpop collection and also in my own, and they both fall in such good color schemes that they're definitely things that I would use, not quite daily because I have a lot of makeup, but I would use enough that I would get my money's worth out of it and I think it would be worth buying. Things that I would use if I had but I wouldn't necessarily go out and purchase them myself would be the Crush on You highlighter palette. These are all shades that I think would look really good on me. I'm skeptical as to how long it'll last since it's a Super Shock Cheek formula. I said it right. They all look like shades that I would use. It's just not unique enough to my collection that I would actually spend my own money on it. I would also get a few of their Cream Luxe lipsticks in Better Off, that nice little pinky nude. I would probably go for Around the World, Doin' Fine, and Pencil Me In. Basically all of their Cream Luxe lipsticks besides the gray one and the light nude one are things that I would use if I had, but I probably wouldn't buy with my own money. And as far as things that I probably would never use are the Electric Feel Matte Luxe Lipstick, just because I don't go for light nude lipsticks. That is not my style. I don't think they're generally very flattering on me. And I also really wouldn't go for the Supernova shadows. The only one that I might go that might like intrigue me enough to maybe buy, like if I needed one more thing to like get free shipping, would be the Love of My Life one. Just because that one is like kind of interesting and I think would go with the eyeshadow palette pretty well, but otherwise I don't find those shades intriguing enough for me to potentially want to risk not using like a not very good formula. It's just because I haven't heard very good things about their Supernova shadows. So those are my thoughts on the Fall 2018 Colourpop collection. I'm really excited to be doing this video series with you. Let me know what collections that are coming up that you want to see in a collection dissection video, because I think that this is going to be super fun and unique and just a fun little series for me to do to kind of get a consumer's perspective as opposed to an influencer's perspective on upcoming makeup releases and what I would buy out of a collection and what I wouldn't. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you on my next one. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye.